a menace. Ooh. Kitty. Kitty. It's a kitty. Oh no. Hello. Cool. Hello. Hmm. La la la. Hello. Is that better? Not really. Hello. Is that better? Hello. Merhaba. Merhaban. Merhaban. It's working now. he's lost interest in me, so we'll see.
Schmintai. Meow meow.
Oh, hey buddy. How's it going? I'm trying to draw a little spider. It's missing some parts, don't judge it. Oh, and then I started this one.
Schmintai. Feeding the baby dinner.
Ooh. I hear babies love dinner. Babies love dinner.
Schmintai. Looks badass.
I haven't finished any of them. I'm being super lame about it. I call this my Lady from Hercules shirt. Do you see it? Do you see it? What's her name?
Schmintai. Get motivated.
I'm trying. I put on this ADHD focus music.
Schmintai. Like Meg.
Meg. Thank you. See, nailed it. Nailed it. Nailed it. Ooh. Hip hop. Hippie to the hop. To the hip hop. It don't stop. We gotta hang out soon, bud. Go over for dinner or something. You always feed the baby, but you never feed me. Just saying. Fine. So I think that I'm having trouble because I haven't eaten anything today except for breakfast. Attempt to gain some sort of motivation from the food I eat in some way. S'il vous plaît. I want to put the camera like in front of me so that I can just stare at the screen. First world problems. No. way I can just be lazy and look that way. Although I don't like how the shirt keeps getting pulled down by my little mic friend here. What if I do that? Is that super annoying? I don't think I'll be able to hear it. I don't trust it. Yeah, that's better. I like that. Oh, I forgot to put socks on. Dang it, Steven. Look what you made me do. Stefan. Steph. You're just gonna be Steph from now on. Stefan Wolf. Stephanie. Okay, I'm done. You're gonna be Stephanie? You're gonna be Steph, not Stephanie, okay. Rub. Start for good conversation. I'm just gonna sit here looking dejected until somebody talks to me. Au revoir. I tried, folks. I tried. Bro, that hurt. Yeah? Okay. Go back. You have no idea what you're talking about. God, my mom's annoying. My mom's so annoying. That was so annoying. I have not had enough food today for that. Oh my God. Oh my God. I just got so annoyed. No. Sorry. Mm. 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 Now you know my pain. You're always yelling at me. move this over here? Cool. I want to work on it. Every video.
This guy is awesome because he looks and speaks fluent Haganese. He's so perfect.
And 67% disapprove of how President Trump is handling the economy. Ed O'Keefe is at the White House with some of the implications. And Ed, it's an election year and people vote with their pocketbooks.
They sure do, Nora. Very good to see you. Happy Monday. President Trump is back from his trip to China, and he's facing new lows in our CBS News poll for his handling of the economy. With gas prices up more than 50% since the start of the war, the president's now ramping up his threats to Iran. The clock is ticking. President Trump warned Iran better get moving fast, or there won't be anything left of them.
We cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon.
Just days after insisting he's more worried about that than how the war is affecting Americans back at home.
I don't think about Americans' financial situation.
A new CBS News poll finds 7 in 10 say they're frustrated or even angry about Trump's approach to the economy. 2/3 say his policies are making it worse. And 77% say incomes aren't keeping up with inflation. House Speaker Mike Johnson acknowledged Iran is a drag on the president's poll numbers.
As soon as we get that straightened out, we will get back to the kitchen table issues.
But Trump did notch another big victory over the weekend.
Thank you, Louisiana!
In Louisiana's Republican Senate primary, Trump-backed Congresswoman Julia Letlow now heads to a runoff after defeating Senator Bill Cassidy, who voted to convict Trump in his impeachment trial after the January 6th attacks. On Saturday, Cassidy said this about how to handle political defeats.
You don't pout, you don't whine, you don't claim the election was stolen.
Now, attention turns tomorrow to Kentucky, where the president's trying to unseat one of his top House Republican critics, Thomas Massie.
Lauren_Nicole_Lioness.
Including his handling of
Emote 37217 BWAP.
Epstein investigation.
They're desperate. That's why they're sending the Secretary of War to my district tomorrow. That's why the president's losing sleep.
Dude, this is one of the most insane stories, by the way. As of like this past month, given by expenditure,
Lauren _ Nicole _ Lioness.
has been
Emote
the most
1730775
expensive-
emoji glass.
historically the most expensive primary. Number 2 is Jamal Bowman, and number 3 is Cori Bush. Notice a pattern there. Do you see what's going on? What's going on? Democracy is supposed to be a pressure valve, a civic duty. And yet, democracy is no longer as democratic. Foreign lobbies are spending billions of dollars, sometimes dumping $10 million into one Democratic primary race to make sure that certain Democratic candidates are unseated.
Lauren
What's
_
going
Nicole
on?
_ Lioness.
What happened
Emote
to the democracy I love? What happened to
1730768
the
emoji
country I
devil.
love? The top 3 most expensive House primaries in history have all involved pro-Israel group spending to get rid of an Israel critic. Number 1 at Thomas Massie, number 2 at Bowman, and number 3 at Cori Bush. How ridiculous. KY4 being the most expensive primary in history is objectively nuts, and clear evidence is about sending a message more than Massie as such. Why is this appropriate? Why is this allowed? Seriously. Massey's being targeted because he represents his actual district, not Israel, and he refused to back down over the Epstein file cover-up. It's crazy that any Republican would want to replace him. GOP elderlies need to find some self-respect and vote for a man with a backbone. And yes, finally, with the, the tens of millions of dollars dumped in to this race.
Hello.
Of course, it worked. Eddie Gallrain is at 51%, and Thomas Massie as incumbent is at 44%. 2 factors at play here, obviously. The fact that Donald Trump is aggressively posturing against Thomas Massie, but also the incredible amounts of money into opposition research and marketing. And what's even crazier is Ed Gallrain has not even done like a fraction of the campaigning that Thomas Massie is engaging in right now. It's so annoying.
There's been a lot of talk about a civil war inside MAGA.
We've talked about some fissures that have emerged among conservatives.
Fissures? Yeah, it's blown up.
The administration's top counterterrorism official resigning in protest over President Trump's war with Iran.
Betrayed his campaign.
Massie also rejects the left very aggressively. He might lose in Kentucky. Are you insane? For a lifelong deep red Republican? No, of course he's going to reject Republican. He's a psycho, first of all. Like, I have respect for him for having consistency on this position and standing by his convictions, but that doesn't mean that he's like a good guy overall or has a decent worldview. Of course he's going to be anti-left.
How much 25th Amendment is that?
I mean, honestly, like the president at 380 chest. Shut up about that shit.
That fight might be coming to a head right here in northern Kentucky.
This guy named Thomas Massie.
Really?
There's something wrong with him.
Representative Thomas Massie has held this seat since 2012. And despite his loyal support for the Republican agenda,
I vote with my party 91%. 91% of the time.
He's in trouble. Big trouble with President Trump.
Thomas Massie is a disaster for our party.
What's landed him in this fight for political survival? 2 issues that have the potential to split the MAGA base. Foreign wars and the Epstein files.
It's a hoax that's been built up way beyond proportion.
This is bigger than Watergate.
Major combat operations in Iran.
I don't think we should start another war.
Because of this, Massie is now facing a Trump-endorsed challenger in his campaign for re-election.
This is a real hero, Ed Gallrain.
And big money is backing up.
Doesn't even know his name, by the way.
Trump's attempt to smear Massie. This is officially the most expensive U.S. House primary in history, with over $25.6 million spent on ads.
Where'd that money come from?
It didn't come from regular people. It's come from billionaires. At least 95% has come from the Israeli lobby.
But this race isn't just about Massey and Trump. It's a litmus test for the future of the MAGA coalition. So I'm driving around Kentucky
Let's try
to find
that.
Trump voters and ask them, what's driving their vote in this primary? Is it loyalty to the president? Or are the cracks in MAGA really starting to form? Hey, we're down making a video. We're looking to talk
Maybe
to
these just
voters
suck.
about the Republican primary that's coming up. Can we talk to you a little?
This guy's awesome because he looks and speaks fluent Haganese. Okay? He's so perfect for this. I swear to God. Every time he just does not stick out at all. Like you see this guy in the Tractor Supply Co parking lot, you're like, oh, he's just, purchasing tractor supplies. I think he's from West Virginia, right? Originally.
Telemundo, I can copy you. I hear you. Los escucho. Hola, hola. Okay, great. Okay, great. Okay, copy that.
Breaking news at 5 out of San Diego, a deadly shooting at San Diego's largest mosque. 3 men are dead and 2 teen shooters have taken their own lives in what is being called a hate crime. And breaking news here at home, a wildfire erupts in Simi Valley. It has destroyed at least 1 home and is still threatening others. People even defending their homes with garden hoses. Evacuation orders and warnings are in place. Welcome to the Fox 11 News at 5, simulcast on Fox 11 Plus. I'm Laura Diaz, in for Christine Devine. Major breaking news across California. We begin with the Sandy fire. It started around 10 this morning off Sandy Avenue in Simi Valley and has since exploded in size. Here's where we stand at this hour. The fire has burned more than 800 acres. At least 1 home has burned down. The fire is 0% contained. Evacuation orders and warnings are in place. A temporary evacuation point is set up at the Rancho Santa Suzanne Community Park at 5005 Los Angeles Avenue. Fox 11's Christina Gonzalez has been in Simi Valley since the fire erupted. She joins us now live with the very latest there. Christina?
Yeah, we had kind of a quiet time when we thought things were under control, and then we had a wind shift. Let me get out of the way, because what's happening is this thing is now, where it was blowing southwest this morning, we're now going
Life in the medieval period looked like lots of different things to lots of different people. Your place in society could dictate everything, from what food you ate, where you could go, how educated you were, and even how long you were likely to live for. Across this series, we'll discover what life was like for those that worked, those that earned, those that learned, and those that played in medieval England.
In terms of the medieval world, the last group that we're ready to talk about are often the group that gets talked about the most, the nobility writ large. So who are the nobility? Technically, royals are nobility at the very, very top of the hierarchy in the secular medieval world. There's a broad swathe of people underneath royalty that are also nobles that have a hierarchy within that as well. You might just be a generalized knight and go by sir. You might be a marquis or a marquis. You might be more directly related to the king and be a duke or a duchess. All of these people on the whole are nobility. As a general rule of thumb, nobility writ large are the people who control secular power in the countryside, whereas royal power is usually concentrated in cities. The benefit that you get in exchange for the huge responsibility of overseeing laws in any particular jurisdiction is taxation. Your serfs are giving you taxes directly. You'll have to give a small percentage of that to the king, but the great majority of it stays with you. But what do the nobility do? It's their job to keep the king's peace, specifically within the countryside. And that's what happens here at Hedingham Castle in Essex. Hedingham is wonderful for any number of reasons, but one of them is that it's an almost archetypical example of Norman-style castles. There's two things going on here. The first is that this is a perfect example of what we call a motte and bailey defensive structure. So a bunch of people from the local area, probably serfs, would have been forced to come dig out a bunch of ground and build these foundations themselves in a defensive structure. Then on top of that you have the bailey, in this case the keep that you can see here. What we're unfortunately missing here would be what we call a curtain wall. So it would have been a defensive wall on top of the motte itself around the edges. That would be where you would defend a castle in the first instance. If everything goes wrong, you then retreat inside the bailey itself with the entire household. Motte and baileys also have other features that sort of help when you're attempting to violently subjugate a bunch of people. And one of them is that it's very difficult to get into. By very virtue of the motte, you've got to get in over a bridge, of which this is a really fine example. Technically, this is not a Norman bridge, it's Tudor. But what it shows us is how well motte and bailey architecture works. Even half a millennium later, you still need to build bridges in order to get over it. It's a really, really great way of controlling access and egress to your castle and making sure that no other armies or violent mobs can sneak up on you. These windows are extremely exciting, not just because they're a great example of Norman Romanesque architecture, which they certainly are, but because they also have some cool little architectural details. So you'll notice on all of them that they have little columns off to either side. And these are something that we call a false arcade. It's meant to remind you specifically of Roman architecture. They want you thinking of the big Ionic and Doric pillars that you would see in a Roman villa. But the other thing you'll see going on is at the very top level here, you'll see that zigzag pattern over the arch. This is called a chevron, and it's specific to English Norman architecture in particular. You're not going to find that back on the continent in France now. It's only here, and it's only brought over by the Normans when they invaded. You'll also notice that all of the windows are different. So here at ground level, you just have these slits in the wall, and all that's doing is letting light into the interior. That's because the people on the very bottom level of the castle are the very most common people who are just servants, essentially. Further up, that's our guard room. It's got a larger window, but it's still not huge. Above that, that's the banqueting hall, so it's got pretty large windows that they're meant to impress everyone on inside. And then at the top of that, you have these really
boring.
God! Sorry. There's nowhere to hide on set.
This comes from relationship advice.
What was that?
A 40-year-old man wrote this. I started to cheat on my wife, who's 38, but stopped halfway through. Do I still tell her?
What? Well, does that mean
I stopped halfway through. I only did a little.
halfway
So
through?
yeah,
I
it doesn't
only did
count.
a little cheating.
Right.
My wife and I have a great relationship.
And freeze.
My wife and I have a great relationship. I can't say I have any real complaints. We have been together for 5 years, married for 2 of those, and up until now, I would have said I would never stray. I was away for work last week, and while I was in the hotel, a young woman, 21, sat next to me and began to flirt with me. I was extremely flattered by the attention. I have to admit, it was a real ego boost to be flirted with by someone so young, as I've started to get that middle-aged dad bod and have been feeling like I'm losing my looks a bit. After a bit of talking, the woman invited herself back up to my hotel room where we began to have sex. For me, it was all about the thrill of being desired by someone other than my wife, especially by a very young woman. I was slightly drunk, and I figured I'll probably never get the opportunity to sleep with a 21-year-old again.
Ew.
But the thrill wore off very quickly as I realized that I wasn't enjoying myself. This girl was not good in bed. She basically just laid there and starfished. Sometimes she would pull herself into what she thought was a sexy pose, but that was it. She didn't seem interested in me at all. I might as well have been a human dildo because she seemed more interested in herself and how sexy she thought she was. Sex with my wife has always been amazing. When I'm with my wife, she's all over me, talking to me and telling me how hot I am, grabbing me, touching me, getting on top, and so on. I feel like the hottest guy in the world when I'm in bed with my wife. With this girl, I felt like I could leave the room and she might not even notice, let alone care. She seemed like she just wanted the ego boost of a guy finding her attractive. I couldn't stay aroused and I stopped about 10 minutes into it and asked her to leave, which she did. I took a shower and then called my wife to hear her voice. Now I'm back home and so far I haven't told my wife about any of it. There's a guilty part of me that says I should because she deserves to know, but another part of me says, why should I torpedo our happy marriage and cause her pain for something that I didn't even enjoy and will never do again? All it did was prove to me that I want my wife more than anyone else. I want to do the right thing, but I genuinely don't know what the right thing to do is here. I know that I will never ever stray again. Should I tell her or keep it to myself?
Okay, you already torpedoed. You already torpedoed by doing this. Also, she invited herself up to your room. I believe you invited her to your room.
Yep.
Sir.
Too late. It's already done.
I'm going up to your hotel room. I don't know how I'm going to feel about this.
Right. Uh-oh.
I hope I say okay to that.
And he's also framing this being like, well, I stopped halfway. And it's like, not because you were guilty, but because she was bad.
Yeah.
Right.
She was bad in bed, so you stopped, and then you were like, wait.
I guess sex with my wife's pretty cool.
Which all the wonderful things you're listing about your wife is not going to make anybody feel bad for you, King. Like, I am sure these comments are tearing him a new one, being like, you fumbled, you lost your wife, you had it. And it's your fault for not recognizing that. You don't have to go have sex with somebody else to be like, oh my God, wait, I love my wife.
So true.
Wait a minute.
I cannot believe this man wrote those words. Like, that's baffling.
Unbelievable.
Halfway through, he's there. He's just like, I understand now.
It all makes sense.
Halfway through, he's got a 20-minute time limit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
He literally knew. It was like, that was exactly
It was halfway. He's like, and? I think I'm done.
It's quite clear.
No,
what
it was also not halfway.
You're involved.
That was
halfway
all
would be like,
in.
I took my shirt off, and then you're like, I don't know.
I was gonna say, like, I thought it could have maybe just ended with the flirtation downstairs of like being in the hotel room and she was flirting and him being like, oh, well, yeah, you know, you're attractive too. I'm interested, like, whatever.
Yeah.
And then being like, wait, what am I doing? I'm married. And
Right.
stopping there, which even in that case is wrong. Like,
Yeah.
that is a whole nother case of emotional cheating. But he literally went upstairs and started having sex with her.
Right.
Like, there's no halfway.
The second he's engaging with her in any sort of real way, but especially the second that they are walking to the hotel room is, for me, it almost doesn't matter past that.
Right.
That's the
decided.
decision,
The decision was made.
that you made.
Yep.
And he could have stopped it there. And it still is like, you need to absolutely have a massive conversation with your wife.
Right.
And it probably is going to be severe and suck. He's talking about it like, oh, why be honest with her? That'll torpedo. It's like, you torpedoed it.
You already torpedoed it.
You already torpedoed it.
Right.
It's going to be, I think it's going to be, there is less of a chance if you don't talk to her. I can't say it would be for this situation, but in the limited knowledge that I have on the research and stuff, is that what tends to happen when someone cheats, and it's especially with affairs, but it's like, it actually weirdly causes resentment in the cheater. Because like their partner doesn't know, and it creates this disconnect for them, and it's this rift that's gonna grow between the two of you. It's impossible to really move on from and be in any sort of real relationship.
No.
It's so disrespectful to her. How he's even contemplating not telling her
Is another sign.
Is a whole other thing.
Yeah.
This is awful.
That guilt is going to grow inside of him like a little gross little tumor thing.
Or the lack, or it will be that issue where and it's this weird thing, I'm going to butcher this, but in psychology, doing a bad thing can actually make you worse because your brain then has to justify it.
Right.
So then your brain morphs to, that was okay for me to do. And now that's where you're at. And it's like, these things grow in ourselves. It's why you kind of have to, you do have to acknowledge and treat things in your own head to mend it, almost like it is a wound that's inside of your own self, like a moral wound. And you kind of have to be like, wait, that's wrong. I have to acknowledge that and work on that.
Right.
I think it's clear to say that this guy is only thinking about himself, not just in the cheating on his wife, but that he considers sex like incomplete or not full the way because he didn't finish.
Right.
Right. So
That
then it's not.
It's entirely an act for himself.
Right.
A lot of bad signs here.
Yeah.
Let's see what these comments say.
Oh, I'm excited.
Oh, this will help.
It sounds like you only regret having sex with this other woman because she was bad in bed. If this 21-year-old was incredible in bed and better than your wife in bed, would you have stopped in the middle? Someone else said, you didn't start to cheat, you cheated. Hard stop. You worded it this way to make yourself not sound bad. Let me say it again, you cheated. Don't forget that you said you didn't enjoy it because you felt she wasn't that into it. Would you have felt bad and still stopped if you thought she was great in bed? Again, you cheated. Lastly, someone said, you didn't stop because you felt bad for cheating on your wife. You stopped because you were disappointed in the sex. I think that says a lot. If she had been good in bed, you likely would have done it with no second thought. You didn't start to cheat on your wife, you cheated on your wife. She deserves to know, don't act like you're doing her a favor by not causing her pain. Tell her you're delusional.
Incredible.
Yep. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Now that's the Reddit therapist.
Yes. All of them.
Update.
No!
Oh, I forgot that those exist. I can't wait.
Oh my God.
Here we go. I really took a beating from Reddit when I made my first post, so maybe some of you will be happy to read this update, maybe not. I was still not sure whether to tell my wife what happened or not after making the post. This is not because I'm selfish, like some of you said, but because I was struggling to find the logic in telling her something that would hurt her when she didn't need to know because it was never going to happen again. But I did also take on board what others said about how if it was them, they would want to know, and to some point I agreed with them about that. It didn't end up mattering because my wife realized something was up a few days after I got back from my work trip. As
it
happens,
goes.
Yeah, this guy doesn't exactly scream
the people
sly.
who believe that they're going to get away with shit, you are either being able to get away with it, I think is worse.
Insane.
Then you're even more.
What does it say about you?
Right.
Or two, you're not going to get away with it.
No.
Right. This guy needs to be bonked in the head with a certain kind of baguette.
Right.
My wife realized something was up after a few days after I got back from my work trip. She brought up how I'd been very quiet and seemed off ever since getting back, and she looked and sounded so worried about me that I decided in the moment to tell her. I didn't want us to have any secrets from each other. I told her everything. She didn't believe me at first. She believed I'd started to sleep with the other woman, but not that I had stopped or that the sex was bad. I showed her the Reddit post I made so she could see I wasn't just spinning her a flattering story to try and get off the hook. She started to cry while reading it and then said the sentence that has been going around and around my head 24/7 since then. I loved you so much. Loved, past tense. I asked if she could really just fall out of love so quickly, and she said yes. In the space of a few minutes, I had gone from the love of her life and the man she wanted to grow old with to just another sad man having a midlife crisis. We talked for most of the night, but she wouldn't budge. She turned down my offer of marriage counseling or counseling for just myself. I suggested we take a short week's break so she can think about things, but her mind is made up. We are filing for divorce, and in the meantime, I am sleeping in our spare room so she can remain in our marital bed. This is not how I wanted any of this to go. She is without a doubt the woman I love and the woman I will always love. And if I could go back in time, I would lock myself in my hotel room for the entire work trip and only come out for the conference. I hold hope that she might one day change her mind all the same. Our connection is too strong to be destroyed by 30 minutes of poor decision making.
It's a little more than
It's a little more than that.
It's not ordering a steak too rare. Oh God, that was so stupid.
No, I liked it. I don't want to, but like, it feels like this could perhaps just genuinely be like somebody who is actually, again, just very unaware, who is, again, just like...
Stop.
Just stupid. Just like somebody who maybe doesn't understand relationship dynamics or commitment. Like, I'm not saying that denies any of everything we've said, and I think that the wife is completely in the right. But like, I mean, even the ridiculousness of him being like, no, honey, look, I made it public and showed everybody. And told everybody. Like, that's...
And she was like, you're on Reddit?
Right.
I don't love you anymore because of that.
And it's, again, it's just like, okay, so there has to be something where he's just actually not getting that.
Which doesn't help in his promise that he's never going to do this again.
Totally. Totally.
I hear what you're saying, and the tough thing is that this is a post written by him.
Yeah.
And it's tough to know because he's in the after phase of having done this. In the phase where I think he is trying to justify it to us as much as he is his wife. So it makes me question the legitimacy of all these things.
Right, yeah.
What actually did happen between him and this woman and then the hotel room. It's hard to know. And the problem is his wife is now in a situation of like, I thought I knew you and I don't.
Yeah.
And that's really tough. And some people I think immediately know like, oh, I know myself enough that this is done.
Yeah, there's no redeeming.
She thought she was married to someone who would never do this to her. And she found out, oh, I actually don't know you because that's who I thought you were. And now it's not the case.
So tragic.
Yeah. It's one of those areas where like cheating is such a weird sphere where it's like you're not a murderer, but as far as a relationship goes, like
you've murdered the relationship.
Like it's as bad as it can get before becoming full-on crime territory.
Yeah.
To me, it's one of those situations where I'm like, this is the commitment part of it. Where, you know, in our life we fluctuate, we do all sorts of things, we make mistakes, whatever. But I think it's a situation to me where I'm like, this is an easy promise to make to someone and to hold of just like, look, man, this is a hardline thing. Just don't do this. And I think the problem is, you know, they're 40. I wonder how long they've been married. You know, it could be many years. It could be they've been married for 15 years. So they made that promise 15 years ago, and they go, yeah, for sure, we're never going to.
I think it was 5.
Was that 5 years?
A different story? Maybe I'm remembering.
Have they been married for about 5 years? For 5 years. They've been married for 5 years.
Yeah.
And I don't know how long they've been together, but, you know, I think some people, they get into some situations where they go, well, I'm in a situation where I've been feeling bad about myself, and we haven't been talking, whatever. And they justify it. And to me, I'm just like, it's one of those where it's like, it's just make it a rule for yourself.
Absolutely.
Because it will destroy it. No matter what, it's going to be a bad outcome. Just no matter how right it might feel in the moment, just so you know.
Right.
And it's important, I think, too, to establish that for yourself, right? Like,
absolutely.
Where is it in terms of your value? How much could you potentially forgive a partner if that happened to you?
Yeah.
And this woman seems pretty clear in at least following her heart in the moment of being like, I know how I feel now.
Yeah.
It's such an interesting thing, you're right, and it's such a case-by-case basis because I know, like, a lot of the times, too, in situations, like, substances can get involved, too.
Right.
And that is often an excuse of like, oh, my thinking was impaired. And it's like,
such
well,
a shitty excuse. Though.
Yeah. And it's just like, well, but yeah, I agree. I don't think I would accept that. But like in this situation, it's like the hardest that you could make this is like, you know, he realizes it right away. He does go and tell his wife. He fully apologizes and is like, I don't know what I was thinking and I was out of my mind. And then it's like, wow, what do I do? You know, like it really is just like an individual thing that you have to self-reflect and understand where you feel on it. And sometimes you don't understand until it happens to you, which is heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It's a good thing that she, you know, got out of that because he clearly is very much creating a narrative for himself that, yeah, I feel like she doesn't know him anymore. So I'm glad she's free of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To have someone tell you that they cheated on you and try to follow it up with any sort of excuse or justification. I think it would have been over either way, but it makes me wonder, had he not followed it up with all the excuses and justification, if it would have been different at all. Probably not. But it's certainly not what you want to hear.
No.
Right.
This is such an unreliable narrator.
Absolutely.
Right now.
Made me want to choke him.
My inclination, based on the wife's reaction, I think this is all many degrees worse than what we're getting.
Absolutely.
All right, our next story comes from Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole for refusing to remove a tattoo related to my ex for my current partner? Ooh, I've never read a story like this. There's a 24-year-old man, my girlfriend who's 29, and I have been together 2 years. I only have one tattoo. I got it when I was 19, and it was given to me by my ex-girlfriend. The tattoo, while it's not directly about or for my ex, she was the person to tattoo it on me. It's a small, minimal tattoo. My ex and I never broke up. She died unexpectedly in an accident. I was 21. I haven't been in a serious relationship until this one I'm in now because I've taken time to overcome the loss and all the associated trauma. To me, my tattoo holds a lot of meaning. It extends beyond the relationship I had with my ex. I've tried to explain that to my girlfriend, but her thinking is black and white. If you're over her, just get it removed. Can't you do this for me? Don't you want to move on? It means you're stuck in the past. These are some of her arguments. Am I the asshole for wanting to keep my tattoo?
Oh my God.
That's a huge red flag.
Yeah.
For one, it's a minimal tattoo. I mean, regardless, it's his body.
This is so different than what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah,
same.
But ultimately, this is one of those situations where if you're with someone, they have a tattoo or anything that they have with their body, and they go, this is my choice. I'm doing this. You kind of have to be like, yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Or if you have such a problem with it, then you don't be with them. Like,
And you don't just control alt delete a tattoo. It is a process. It's painful. It's expensive. It takes time. Not everybody's Pete Davidson and can afford that shit.
Yeah.
You know, like
going into the story, I was like, is this going to be like a heart with her name on it type thing? Like
there's a lot that I would maybe understand, and I think it being tied to trauma and grief changes it entirely because it's not just about the ex. This is about a period of time in his life. This is probably about a huge moment for him. And you know, it was an ex, but it was also like that's just someone who meant something to him.
Yeah.
A lot of layers to that relationship.
I think it's insensitive to be like, you're over her, right? It's like, you mean grieving the loss of her? Like, I can mourn or appreciate this as much as I need. It's not infringing upon the relationship or on the partner. Like, I feel really disappointed by this girlfriend because, like, she's older than him and it just feels uncomfy. Like, it feels like she's in competition and is uncomfortable with something that is there because of someone who has passed away. It's not like this ex is out there tattooed. Like, there were so many other ways that I thought that story was gonna go. And this is like, literally, he's completely in the right.
And I don't like her. I don't think she should be presenting him with tons of arguments, and I don't like her arguments at all. Can't you do this for me? Don't you want to move on? It means you're stuck in the past. I mean, this is manipulation. It's just really, really insensitive and shitty.
All tattoos are stuck in the past. They're literally like, as someone, and at first I was like, oh, it's his only tattoo and it's about his ex. That is a little cringe. But like, there's no reason for this to not be okay. Like, everybody has tattoos that they get from different eras, and like, I'm someone who believes that even if I don't agree with a tattoo anymore, or like the meaning of tattoos can change all the time, and it's like, it's just like trauma or stories in our life where it's like, it made us who we are. It's part of who we are, and we like get to keep on living, and this isn't holding me back. It's not defining me or keeping me in a place that I'm not anymore.
Right. Comments, or the verdict, not the asshole. Comments, not the asshole. Demanding someone remove a tattoo in general is a pretty crazy demand. If it's not specifically a name or very obvious symbol of her, there should be no reason for someone to even request it be removed or covered. Your current girlfriend seems very insecure. OP responded saying, exactly, it's not directly anything to do with her. It's just that she gave it to me. Even when I had it done by her, it was a tattoo I was getting for myself. And while it did take on the added meaning of being something that exists in a world where she no longer does and will always be connected in that way, it's not something to be competed with. I wish I'd shared the deeper backstory about my tattoo with my current girlfriend earlier. I think I took too long in establishing this side of my relationship with her, having her earn my trust before letting myself become vulnerable to a point where I could share traumatic memories with her. All for her to say, remove your tattoo. Shaking my head. Maybe I'm an idiot and I don't know how to spot them, but I genuinely saw no red flags. This is our only real issue in our relationship, but unfortunately, it's a huge one.
This is a thing we see a lot in partners, in like relationships, where someone is trying to set a boundary, but it's a boundary that's on the other person, like infringing on their existence, on their actions. Like you are being controlling, you're not setting a boundary. And like, if this is saying, do this for me, yeah, like you saying, it's manipulative, it's definitely going to continue to be an issue. Like in other ways, this partner, their version of setting boundaries and having things done for them is controlling.
I also think, I'm thankfully not very experienced with grief, but grief is a huge deal, and how people deal with grief is always very unique and different by the person, and you need to be very, very respectful of how they have dealt with their grief and whatever they've done and whatever they're currently doing. And as he admits, he's like, it took me a long time to feel vulnerable to share this, of course. And the second he does, her response is, well, just get rid of that.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, I'm frankly shocked he's still staying in this relationship. Like, that's a huge thing.
Just zero empathy. It's like she's only looking at the tattoo as how it relates to her. Like, it's just completely selfish. She's only seeing the tattoo as this is, a past love of his, and that threatens me, rather than seeing like the emotional meaning that it has to him.
Right.
It kind of has a little bit of internalized misogyny in my mind, of like, you're competing. It's the idea that another woman existed in his life. It's like how men will freak out and hearing like, whoa, you're not a virgin? Ew, like, it's a weird like idea.
I get that,
you know what I mean?
Someone else said, she didn't even mind that tattoo until you told her your ex did it. Yeah, she's selfish and bad news. OP said, so you're correct. She did have some concerns even before I told her my story. She worried how my tattoo would be perceived, specifically by her parents, because tattoos historically have bad association in my culture. But it's not a big tattoo. It's very clean and not visible when wearing most clothes. She knew about me and my past. She knew everything. This tattoo is the least bad thing about me, but to her, it's the most intolerable. Someone else said, I'd reserve judgment on this. OP, do you talk about your former girlfriend a lot? Does your girlfriend feel like there's a ghost in the relationship? OP said, I didn't talk about her at all until recently, when I decided to open up and share the story about my tattoo. And that's when the remove your tattoo stuff came out. It's not a part of my past I bring up easily or want to visit, or talk to people about beyond what's necessary. And sometimes I wonder if I should just keep it to myself and not tell anyone at all. I thought my current girlfriend was someone I could trust, so I chose to be vulnerable. Maybe I should have laid it out earlier and given her an opportunity to walk away. Update.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone, for answering my question. I talked to my girlfriend, and even though I've explained the past, I tried to explain again one last time, thinking maybe if we could communicate our feelings more clearly, we would get past this misunderstanding. I explained my tattoo is personally meaningful to me in a way that has nothing to do with my ex. It doesn't mean I haven't moved on or that I'm stuck in the past. We talked for a long time, and I did not break up with her because of how this conversation went. I genuinely believed we overcame it. A few days passed, and she drank too much while celebrating a work milestone with her colleagues. She called me that night to come to her place. She was in a good mood that night. I fell asleep first. While I was asleep, she stubbed a cigarette on my tattoo. I broke up with her because I can't take her fixation with my tattoo anymore. All right, yeah.
Holy crap.
Okay.
What? Is this an A24 movie?
With all these Reddit stories we read, every time they're like, there's no issue besides this one thing. And then like something happens where it's like, I think there's issues besides this one thing.
Oh
That
my
is
God.
unbelievable.
That's demonic. I don't care if there's alcohol in the equation. That
No,
is
yeah.
a lot
If
of
you're
bad.
if when you drink, that's your tendency, then okay.
Holy crap.
Wow. Oh, God.
Evil. That's evil. Sorry. That's
Yeah.
evil. And this flag is too small.
I think that's a red flag.
Well, that's actually not a red flag anymore. That's you made it to the
No,
thing.
that's the red castle.
You've now made it to the ship that you were.
You've done a crime.
You're a
That's
criminal.
not a red flag. That's a crime.
No, that it's the unfortunate times when Reddit stories go past asshole conversations, and it's like, oh, they're a criminal.
Yeah.
Just the cop showing up at the door, the red flag. Like, hey, buddy,
Cops show up and they're like, I think you're the asshole here.
Oh my God, that's horrible.
Boy, that's awful. Well,
Hey, at least they can say they tried.
they got out. Yeah, I'm sad that they did give this person a shot, and then they turned around and did that.
That's so
They
scary.
could press charges.
Yeah.
Fully press charges.
Yes.
They have evidence of it.
Owie, owie.
Next story. This is a 36-year-old woman. My husband, who's 33, has completely lost interest in our marriage for Final Fantasy XIV.
Woo!
I left. He didn't even notice. What now? This is probably a tale.
Is that the online one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Y'all don't understand. It's really good.
I've heard it's great. This is probably a tale as old as Atari.
All right, asshole. Asshole.
Okay. When my husband and I met, we had a lot of things in common. As time went on and our lives shifted and changed, his interests changed. We've been together 9 years, married 6. We both work average office jobs, 40 hours a week. He started to get into this game, Final Fantasy XIV. He is obsessed with it. From the moment he gets up on the weekends to when he gets home from work, he plays the game. He talks to people about the game. He reads about the game. We all need hobbies. But he's completely abandoned any of the things that we did together. Hiking, jogging together, art nights, board games, bar trivia, etc. I'll try to get him to come with me to bar trivia with our friends, and he just wants to stay home and play the game. I'll invite him for a hike, and he just wants to relax. We've had sex 5 times this year. Each time I had to initiate. Wait, what?
Bragging.
Okay. Damn, okay, so they're crazy. We've had sex 5 times this year, each time I had to initiate. I've tried to initiate dozens of other times, tried to pull him to bed. He will just come to bed, cuddle, check that I'm asleep, and go back to play his game. I'm not interested in playing video games beyond a game like Candy Crush, so me joining him would be me being completely disinterested, confused, /lost, or annoyed. The last time I talked to him about this, I told him that I was lonely in our marriage and felt neglected. He told me that I was putting too much pressure on him, that he needed time to unwind from work. He will sit on the couch next to me at night while there's Parks and Rec or something in the background, just not interact with me at all, and call it couples time. He says this is how adults do it. It's not like in the movies. When I pressed and pressed for date night, he was quiet and didn't have much to talk about. And in the car while I was driving home, instead of interacting with me, he just pulled out his phone to get on Discord and talk to people about his game. I tried to initiate sex, and he kissed me on the forehead, said goodnight, and left to go play the game. I cried for a little while. I packed my things and left to spend a week with my family. When I got back, it was almost like I just walked back into the room exactly as I had left it. Nothing had changed. He was in the same spot as when I left. I asked him if he'd noticed I was gone, and he said no, not really. I stared at him, and he just said, look, I don't know what you want from me. I'm allowed to have time to myself. He kept pressing that it's normal for adults to do their own thing. I said, yeah, but we need to do things together too. He kept saying I put too much pressure on him, and if I want to do something with him so badly, to give him something more interesting or important than his game. I said, so intimacy with your wife is not as important or interesting as your game? He said no, and basically, ask any one of my friends and they'd agreed they'd prefer to stay up playing the game than cutesy cuddling and sweet talking with their wives. I didn't even know what to say. I'm dumbfounded now. Part of me is wondering if I just don't have a realistic view of relationships. It's good to have alone time. I have my alone time as well. But it feels like he's my roommate now, not my husband. Before anyone brings up depression or anxiety, I've asked him about it. He doesn't believe it's related to either, and instead thinks that he's just changed and has different priorities to what he had before. Do I have next steps here, or is it time for me to just pack up and leave for good? I'm not happy. I don't think he's the person I initially fell in love with. I think his wife is Final Fantasy XIV now. And to be honest, my self-esteem has slipped to be less interesting or compelling than pixels on a screen. Ouch. This is extreme. This is as extreme as it can get.
It sounds like a cope to me.
Yeah, I think it's gone into the realm of like addiction of some capacity.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he's not wrong in the sense that like, yeah, couples do need to do their own thing sometimes, but like there's no balance there. That sounds like an extreme, like to not notice she was gone for a week.
That's the most insane thing ever. I mean, I haven't heard of anything quite like that. If your partner leaves for a week and doesn't even tell you where they are, and you're just like there and like, he was probably stoked. He was just like, sweet.
Yeah, more time.
And she's tolerated a lot. It sounds like this has been going on a long time. Yeah. She's not judging him for playing the game, but she's upset at him for just being gone. He's gone now.
And that is really, the saddest part of that to me was when she said, do I just have an unrealistic view of relationships? I'm like, no, don't gaslight yourself and don't let him gaslight you. Like,
right.
It's very clear that unfortunately he has made his priorities known. Like, you shouldn't have to, like, you can work on relationships, but you shouldn't have to convince someone to spend time with you.
Right.
And that sucks.
Yeah.
Like, I feel so sad for her.
Right.
Yeah. And I feel like, I mean, like, if he's not even, like, willing to, like, listen to her issues that she's seeing, and, like,
I guess nobody
he's not
wants to
willing
hang
to, like,
out.
empathize